I'm with one Peter Morrow. Peter, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, nice to meet you. Now, the reason that I pulled you up, and against your better judgment you allowed me to talk to you on video, is because you have the most spectacular Federal that I think I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you.
So
That's very
walk
kind.
this way and we'll get it into the background while you tell me all about it, sir.
Okay. It's a 1949 Federal. I imported that in 2012, 2013 from America.
Right.
And it was in pretty sad condition. And I had the cabin that was on it was too rust prone, so I took that cabin off and bought another one, and an earlier model cabin, and I converted that to a sleeper configuration, as you can see. And it was completely stripped down, the whole truck, everything, every nut and bolt except the rivets. I never removed those. And over a period of 10 years, I've got it to what you see now. And I did some of the work, but I had bodybuilders do the body work. I had painters paint it. I did most of the disassembly and assembled what I could. The original motor, well, not really. I had it rebuilt. The motor's it's called an NHB 600 Cummins, which is very early 50s vintage. So I've had that completely rebuilt, everything replaced in it. So the block is there and heads, but everything else, new pistons, crankshaft, everything else was which purchased and motor reassembled. And it's been on the road since 12 months, 2022 it's been on the road. It took 10 years. That includes stripping it, rebuilding, having the motor done by specialists.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing with it for the last 10 years, and so it's only been out really
It beats the
twice.
hell out of watching Netflix, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Peter, why a Federal?
Well, because I did a Diamond T some years ago, and I was always sort of taken by these Federals, especially one called the 604, which was a military version, not Second World War vintage. And I was looking for one, and I could not find one to restore. I wanted something to restore a bigger truck than what I'd done previously. So I was looking on the internet. I looked here, couldn't find anything here, and I discovered this on the internet, which I didn't know they made them actually. This is made after the war, and it's a civilian version of the military one. In other words, it's similar, same grille, I beg your pardon, not grille, same radiator surround, same bonnet, different guards. It's slightly lighter. This weighs 6.5 tonne as it is.
Okay.
And so I found this on the internet, and I imported it from America. And it had been left out in the weather, so the cabin was really very expensive to restore. So I was able to locate an earlier model cabin of a mid-40s cabin. So I imported that, and we took the back out of that, moved it, put it in a 2-foot section so I could have a sleeper cab in it. And that's about its life history I can tell you about it.
Your background is in trucking, Peter?
It
Or?
was years ago, yes. I used to be a truck driver many, many years ago.
Okay.
First love of, I've always loved trucks, and I was a truck driver probably till in my 30s, I think. And then
you got smart.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose you could say that. One thing led to another, yes, and then I ended up in other occupations or business, and but that's what I've done. That's my working life, actually.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's it.
It's a credit to you. It is quite beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And pretty unique, I would suggest, in this country.
I would say it's the only one in the country. It's
there
the
you
biggest
go.
one they made after the war.
Yep.
And I'd say I've looked around. I've never seen a mention. Even in America, they're very scarce. There's one restored in America, the same as this configuration as this. This has got the extended bonnet, so it's a longer bonnet. And this is the third one off the production line. This is 03. It's a D65 MA, and the model number is 03.
So I'm sure someone, when they see this, is going to say, what sort of motor? And I think we already said earlier it was a Cummins. Is that correct? But they're going to ask about how much power and torque. So you might give us those figures if you have them, Pete.
Right, well, I don't have the torque, but it's 200 horsepower, 743 cubic inch, which equates to 12.3 litres. And the torque figures, well, I really don't know. It's 200 horsepower.
Yep.
And I don't know. The torque would probably be around 500 or 600. I really couldn't tell you.
Yep.
I haven't got that information.
That's all right. Bad luck to those that ask that question.
Yes, they'll be wondering for the rest of their days.
Look,
But
it's the other thing I might ask you is the paint, the colour. What did that come from?
that is a Mustang colour called Deep Impact Blue.
Right.
That's a later, or the very current series Mustang colour. I saw it on a Mustang and I thought, oh, that looked terrific, and I finally found out what it is.
It does, and it suits it, particularly with the red highlights that you've got.
Yeah, I thank you. Well, I like the red, the chassis, and those little highlights, yeah.
It's a lovely mix and makes it pop. Peter, nice to meet you. Thank
Okay.
you very much for your
Oh, that's all
time,
right.
and
Thank you.
thank you for allowing us to have a look at something very,
Pleasure.
very special here at Yarra Glen.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.